So what is your number? What is your magic number? If you have a business, you probably have a magic number. Now, there's a lot of numbers that we have in business, right? It could be what our revenue is, what our net profits or gross profits are. It could be how many employees we have. It could be our ranking in our niche, in our market. Are we number one? Where are we ranked on the Inc. 500? Everybody has a number for their business. My question is, what is your magic number? Now, the magic number we're talking about today is a little different. The magic number we're talking about today is, what is your walkaway number? What is the number, the dollar amount that you would take to walk away from your baby, your business, and say, okay, that's it. I can now retire. I can go off and do whatever I want to do, and I will hand my baby to somebody else. So, what is it for you? Put it down in the comments below. I want to know, what is your magic number? How much would I write a check for and buy your company for you to walk away? What is that number? Do you have one? Have you ever thought about this? You see, when you go into a business, and in a lot of ways, it's like going into a marriage, isn't it? Like when you go into a marriage, you don't just go, okay, we're going to get married and then we'll kind of plan things later. We'll figure it all out. No, you have a lot of thought put into that about how many kids do you want? Where do you want to live? What values do you have? Right. And the same thing goes for a business. You want to decide before you actually make that commitment, before you get too far along, how is this going to look? And today we're talking about that. Are you building your business to scale it, to keep it, to pass it on for generational wealth and as a legacy play? Or is it for you? It is your stream of income that feeds you until you decide to quit working? Or is it that you're building to sell? And there's a great book by Jim Collins. Gotta read it. He wrote the book Good to Great, and he also wrote Built to Sell. So, how are you building your business if you think about wanting to sell? And so, the time to decide that is upfront. So, this is what we're talking about today. We are talking about, how do you actually build your empire? And how do you build it so that you can sell it for millions? Does that sound good to you? All right. If that sounds awesome, then we want to go ahead and get So welcome everybody to Iconic TV. My name is Dr. Connie Scavella. I am your host, and I am the founder of the Iconic Entrepreneur Group and Movement. I also run Iconic Business Advisors. And what do? We really focus on taking business owners from 6 figures to 7 figures in 1 year or less without any of the stress or the struggle or the overwhelm that you might be experiencing in your business right now, so that you can have a business that actually feeds you instead of one that you have to nurse up into all hours of the evening. So today, this is it. We are talking about growing and scaling your business so that you could actually sell it. Now, you might decide, no, I don't want to sell it. I want to keep it. I want to keep it growing. And then I want to go do other things. So we're going to talk about, what does it take? Imagine if someone could write you a 7, 8, 9-figure check for your business. How do you have to prepare that to make sure that that would happen? Okay. So I want to know, first of all, where are you in the process? Okay. What would you prefer? So let me know. Do you want to actually put money into your business and continue to grow it? Or do you want to get money out of your business? Okay, that's the big question. Which side are you on? Do you want to put the money in and say, I'm going to keep feeding my business and put my revenues and my overages into my business and make it get bigger and bigger and bigger? Or do you want to try and get the money out of your business right now and say, hey, somebody make me an offer? All right. So if you want a mafia offer, as they say, a mafia offer is an offer that you can't refuse. So what would that number be? Put your number down in the comments. I'm really curious to know. And if it's your first time here, please let me know. And go ahead and come over here somewhere. You can subscribe if you're watching, and then let me know it is your first time by putting a number 1 in. If you put a number 1 in the comments, then we will go ahead and reach out to you. I have an amazing team, Angie and Della and Sandy they are going to actually reach out to you and get you a welcome gift if it, and tell me who are all my pros. So let me know if you're one of our pros. Okay. Now, I also want to know, can you hear me? Can you see me? Is there anything wrong with the sound? Hopefully we're doing okay. We had all kinds of tornado warnings here in San Diego. Let me know where you are. Is it winter? Is it getting warm? What's going on where you are? Okay, so here's the question for you. Let me know. Okay, pick one of these. Okay. Do you want to build your empire to scale it and you want to keep growing it and growing it and growing it? If that's the case, I want you to write hashtag scale, right? Hashtag scale down below. Okay. Or are you in this camp and you are building your empire because you want to sell it? You want to cash in. You want to get the bags full of money. Show me the money. Okay. Which one is it for you? Now, as we're going along, if you miss anything, whether it's from our end and the weather or something's going wrong on tech or you had to run out or you got here late, I want you to go ahead and ask for the replay. Okay. And we also have a workbook. So there's a workbook that you're going to get so you know what to do, depending on if you want to buy, build your business to grow it and scale it or to sell it for millions. Okay. So type hashtag workbook at any point, and we will go ahead and send that out to you so that you can actually figure out, oh, which way should I make this go for me? Okay. So let's take a look at what does it take. And if you need a replay, just type hashtag replay. All right. So my team is awesome. Please thank them. They're here trying to help you guys with any questions that you might have. Make sure you get notified. Always hit the subscribe button or the notifications button if you're watching in Facebook or wherever you're watching on LinkedIn. So we are pretty much everywhere. We just want to make sure you're getting this information. Everything that we do here is to help you grow and scale your business. We're giving you strategies and principles, not hacks and tactics and quick things, quick fixes, because quick fixes always break. We're trying to build you a lifelong business, okay? And so what do you have to do in order to prepare for this great marriage, right, between you and your future acquisition partner? One of the things that they're going to want to know is, do you know your numbers? All right. What does that mean? So in your business, you should have a dashboard, and that's going to show you all your numbers, your KPIs, OKRs, all your stats, your call ratios and closing, your cost of goods. It could be your ad spend, right? Lifetime value of a customer, all those numbers. Do you know those? Okay. And think of it like, a dashboard in your car. There's these numbers. You're trying to drive, right? But every once in a while, something might flash up and it'll be like a warning sign. Okay. You don't reach over in your glove box and grab a hammer and smash it and say, I don't want to see that. You have to pay attention to these numbers. And so when people want to buy your business, they're going to pay attention to it too. So when we had our racing company, so after a race, every time the drivers would get together, they'd all get in the trailer and then watch the race, and they'd look at the numbers and they'd look at the speed and the turns, or if they broke too early, or what was the lap time for somebody else, right? And you had to know the numbers, and you had to know where you should be and where you should speed up and all of these things in every single turn. Okay. And so you want to know the same thing in every turn of the market. You've got to know, where am I? What are my numbers? And when somebody asks you, you shouldn't go, oh, I don't know. I don't know. I ask people every single day, what's your gross revenue and your net revenue percentage and profit? No clue. They have no idea. Okay. So this is the thing. And if you do want to know, well, gosh, how do you actually double your profit if you don't know what your profit is? So if you do want me to show you in 5 minutes, I'll show you in 5 minutes how you can double your profit. And so simple, literally 5 minutes. I absolutely guarantee it. Okay. And if I don't show it to you in 5 minutes, then I'll buy you lunch. But I can do it on the computer, 5 minutes, no problem. Just say profits, hashtag profits, and I'll show you exactly how you can double your profits. And on top of that, I'll show you what your business is valued at right now. Okay. So you got to know your numbers. What is the other thing that people are going to want to ensure that is happening in your business before they're even interested in talking to you about buying it? Is they want you to run more laps daily. Laps are leads, appointments, presentations, and sales. Okay. Are you doing those every single day? Or do you take days off, or every once in a while you're not getting leads, or it's been 3 weeks since you've had an appointment, or you haven't given a presentation in a while, and sales are about every other month? Okay. I talked to someone today and she had one sale last year. Awesome, awesome person. All right. But one sale is not going to get you freedom. Right. And I think that's really why we got into our business, right? Freedom. So, laps, think about that. Um, are you doing those every single day? That consistency, that cycle, okay, is what investors are looking for. We are also investors. So if you do have a business that you want to sell, or you're considering it, or you're like, maybe I've had this for a while, now I'm ready to sell, please come talk to us. And if we can't help you, we'll connect you with somebody who might be interested in buying it from you. Okay. So the other thing that you want to consider is you've got to use leverage. Okay. Elevate your business, elevate your sales and your revenues by focusing on group sales. And a lot of people are looking at just one-off sales, transactional sales. You want relationship sales, sales where you can leverage instead of one-to-one, go in groups if you're in sort of a service-based consulting business. And then how else can you put your message out there in groups rather than one-to-one? That's a huge, huge way to build your business faster. See, you're trying to get your revenue up so you can have more people that are interested in acquiring you, or so that you can just scale it and have more money. Okay. Either way, you're going to win, right? So if you're just looking at things one to one to one to one, whose time is that? That's yours. And you didn't get in business to give up your time. You got in business to free up your time. So if you're feeling like you're stuck and you're not leveraged and you're not growing fast enough, please let us know. Just say hashtag call and we'll hop on a quick 10-minute call. Kind of point you in the right direction real quick. Okay. So the other thing that you want to do, this is what people are looking for. Okay. See, imagine this. If you're building your business in a way that people would love to acquire it, then you have an amazing business. Even if you never, ever, ever decide to sell, you've built something that's going to last. A track to run on is a saying where you're just going to stay on target, right? You're going to stay in this track. You're not going to go off and go, oh, this is cool. Oh, maybe we should try this. Maybe we should try this. Is there anybody out here, anybody at all, with shiny object syndrome? And you're like, oh, I'm going to try that. Oh, I'm going to try that. Oh, that looks great. And all of a sudden you're lost and you can't find your way back. So you need a track to run on. What is the specific thing you're going to do? Stay on one track. Okay. We talk about that all the time in our SOAR formula. And the S in SOAR stands for singularity. Are you singularly focused on the one thing that's actually going to make you money? Okay. So if you want to be able to sell your business for millions, you have to be able to show that you have a track to run on, something that you are consistently doing. Okay. Now, here's something else. You have to build a team of rock stars. Nobody's going to buy your solo entrepreneur business. They're going to want to know because they're going to buy it out and you're going to say, bye-bye, I'm out of here. Thanks for the money. Thanks for the millions and millions of dollars. And then if you're gone, what's left? What they're valuing is your team. Okay. And you want to have a team of A players, amazing rock stars, people that can carry the show. So, do you have that right now? Or you think, I just want to be me? Okay, chances are it won't sell, but how could you maybe still build up a team? If it's always just you, who gets time off? Who's going to, help you out when you want to walk away? When I had my finance and investment companies, and I took off 6 to 8 months a year because I had such an amazing team. Okay. And it didn't cost me anymore. So if you are struggling and you're like, I don't know how to do all these things that you're showing me, and then there's 4 or 5 more I'll show you, uh, just book a strategy call with us. Okay. And we'll look at evaluation and look at how is your marketing going. And maybe you're not doing enough because you think it costs you money. Well, actually, we can show you at least 12 different profit levers that you can use These are what we call low-hanging fruit to get more and more and more revenue and profits in your business without spending one penny on marketing or advertising or 5 more hours on social media. Okay. Most people think it's I either have to pay money or do it all by myself. No, actually, there's a happy medium. Okay. That's that Goldilocks, just right in the middle. So here's the question for you. We talk about a team. I want you to be sure to understand there's no baker's dozen. And as you're building out teams, some of you have come from corporate and some of you are still in corporate and you understand, the power of more people and the dynamics and the politics around that. But when you're building your business, there's some numbers you want to pay attention to. Okay, 12 versus 40. These are what we call breakpoints. So up to 12, a nice carton of eggs or the 12 apostles or something like that. So up to 12 people in your business, it's manageable. It's still something that you can control. It doesn't break off. People are still close and you can still oversee that. Once you add one more, when you add one more egg to the carton, you try, it gets messy, things get broken, and teams fall apart. Because what happens is at 13 and beyond, then you need to break people up into teams and have somebody oversee them. And then you need someone to oversee the teams. And you see how this can get really, really complex. And then where's the next break point on that is when you're at about 40 people. At about 40 people, that's where you start to need layers, and you need layers of executives and the CFO and the COO and the CXO, the IT person, all of these people in different departments. And that's when you can manage it. And that's when you're really starting to be a bigger company. But if you are a company, let's say under 10 million, then you probably don't need to scale that fast. There's actual numbers that you can use, and I can show those to you. But if you're under 10 million, you're going to attract a wider audience of people who would be interested in buying you. So don't have to go that big. Now, when you're at the 40 and more, then you're going to have a lot higher echelon of groups and companies looking at you. Okay. So that also means it's a more complex sale because there's a lot more to look at. And the other thing, now that you've got this team, you know the right number, you also need to have a process. So you need your standard operating procedures. And how do we look at this? This means you've got to have a structure. So if somebody comes in, they know exactly what to do and how to do it, and do it over and over and over and over. Okay. These kind of people are not the entrepreneur, the leader. These are a different kind of person, different personality styles. They can do things continually over and over and have the same routine. What we implement and what we highly encourage you to do is use the Noah principle. Okay, so you guys all remember Noah and his ark, right? A flood was coming and he filled it with animals 2 by 2. This is what you want to do in your business. Is you want to make sure that at least 2 people know every job. So if something happens to the other person, the person who's sort of the backup can fill in. Okay. And why is this important? Because guess what? If you sell your company and you leave, you have some people that are really going to be loyal to you, and they're going to leave if you do. And guess what? Now the person buying this company is going to see, oh, this isn't a stable environment because half the people are going to leave, and then they're going to feel like, oh, this was a bad buy. Okay. So you want to have this in place, and all it does is continues to raise the valuation of your company. Now, again, here's the question. Which way are you going to go? Are you going to sell it? Or are you just going to follow the structure to sell it, to build a perfect company so that you can scale it? Either way, I want you to get the replay. And when you get the replay, or if you want the workbook, let me know which one that you want. Okay. Let me show you 4 other things that you really have to look at really quickly on what you need to build. The next thing you need to have is a succession plan. Okay. Who are you mentoring? Who's going to take your place? Now, you've probably seen the movie Billions and things like that. It's all about a succession plan. So if you don't have that, why is this so important if you're trying to sell your company? It's because when you go, everybody is looking for a strong number 2. That's like the first thing I look at. Who's number 2? Who's going to be able to step in and step up? Now, if you think you could just go into corporate world and bring somebody in, depending on the position, it usually doesn't work. Why? Because they're used to having things sort of done for them. right? And they know their role, but they don't really have the ability to see everything from a high level view. And so it's more difficult if you're trying to fill a succession plan from the outside with someone very corporate when they haven't been in an entrepreneurial environment. So that's a very important thing that you do want to keep in mind. Who's going to take over when you're gone? So when I had my company, my global company, then I had a rock star in place who allowed me to leave all the time. And if I decided I'm out, I'm done, no problem. She would have been able to handle the entire company. Okay. So that's what you want to build. All right. So you should be looking for that all the time. If you need some help with hiring, we have some great resources on that. And just keep coming back here every Tuesday, right? Tuesday at 5 o'clock. And then you will be able to see some really great teachings and trainings on how to scale your business and go from 6 figures to 7 figures in 1 year or less. You also want to figure out who is the key person of influence. Now, are you the front man? Are you the face of the company? Are you the one who is navigating kind of the wake of everything and you're leading the way and forging new trails? Okay, that's great. Or maybe you're a behind the scenes person and you have somebody else who's more like the face of the company. And that happens often, right? A lot of people are introverted and they're like, I don't want to be out front and do all of that. And so who's going to be that? Because that's how you're building this brand. That's how you're building this up. Now, if your business is still named after you, then this is the time to change that. Yes, you can build your personal brand, but not ideally to build your company under your name, because the second you leave, the whole thing will fall apart. And so all the value goes out of the business that way. So if you're thinking in a few years you want to sell, this is the time to do it. So how do you build up that value and that brand and that cachet about your business? Stages are important. So where can you be speaking? Maybe it's a podcast that you're elevating your company. Maybe you have shows like we have Iconic TV. We also have the Soar podcast. I speak every week at different events. So what are you doing to grow your brand and become legendary? And then publishing is the other way that you can establish influence with a key person. And that is by books. We have, I've written 3 #1 bestsellers. I have 7 more on business. Maybe you have some courses. What are you doing to be prolific in all of these areas? Is this making sense to you? Okay, so maybe you can kind of tally and see which ones I have. We have a quiz, by the way. If you want the quiz on all of these things to kind of grade yourself and see how you're doing, let us know. We can get you that quiz. And you can go, okay, maybe I'm structured more to scale than I am to sell. Okay, and maybe you want to flip. Okay, let us know. If you want 5 minutes, we can hop on the phone for 5 minutes, say, okay, which way do you want to go? Then give you a guideline, a roadmap of what you need to do. So you can hop on a call with me. And we're going to start with like a 10-minute call, no big deal, just to see what you need. If I can answer that in 10 minutes, great. If we need to talk a little bit longer, grab a cup of coffee, no problem. We will do that as well. So now, what else do you need to do? So you have to be that key person of influence, right? But how do you get on the radar for all the acquisition partners? How do you make sure people understand that, oh, this thing is a good company to buy? So one of the things they look at is your product mix and what kind of products do you have. Now, we always talk about singularity. Have one key product, one foundational product, a singular product line that you can work with in the beginning, because that establishes your identity and who you are and your brand. Don't go crazy with 14 things. You're not Walmart, okay? So keep it one thing. What is the one thing that you are known for? So when you look at your products, there's 4 things. There's 4 kinds of products that you want to ultimately have in your mix. The first one is gifts, right? These are things that you can give out for free. Today, I did a talk and I gave out some of my books for free. Then there's the relationship products. These are ones that you do to attract prospects. What kind of product do you have to bring them in? One of the things that we have is our Valentine's Day offer. Valentine's Day is next week. If you don't have an offer, it is not too late. We have one that's already custom branded for you. All you have to do is put your offer in there in the name and put it up. It's completely done for you. We've got over 105 different assets. I'll show that to you really quick in a few minutes. And So what is that? That's our relationship product, something that we can give to people. We have mindset programs that are awesome because most people in business have a problem with their mind. So we have an amazing thing called the Millionaire Mindset course. So these are relationship products. Now, your core product, that's the one that's the transformational product, okay? So that would be either our mastery or legacy programs in the academy. We also have the apprentice program. These are things where you're going to completely transform from the way you come in and the way you go out. What is your core product? Okay. And then the final one is a product for clients. Once you have the clients, how do you maintain them? What is the ongoing journey that you're going to put them through? And so this can be subscriptions or software. These are awesome. And you can see this all over the place right now. And they're fabulous. Subscriptions are great. Subscriptions, so you have to really nurture that. We'll do a show on subscriptions if you guys want to see one. And because a lot of people leave a subscription after 3 months. So then you end up empty, right? Losing money. Now, software, on the other hand, is awesome. We have different software that we do, and I'll show you why in a minute. The other thing that's a client product is anything that you can help with maintenance and improvement. Okay. You might have an extra add-on, another layer that they could go into. And so when you are an acquisition target, they're going to want to see what's the depth of your product mix. Okay. Or are you really wide? Like you just have all these things for certain people, but what you want is depth, because when you have depth, then you can increase the lifetime value. And that is a big number. One of those numbers, one of those magic numbers that people are going to look at is what's the lifetime value of your client. Okay. Now, is this making sense? Please, please, please get the workbook. Okay. Just type hashtag workbook or hashtag replay if you've missed any of this, because there's a lot. Now, that was a lot. Unfortunately, I'm going to go a little bit more granular and show you some other more high level things on if you do want to sell your business to other people. Okay. So you want to think about modern day assets and think about this as productivity, right? What could you do to get more productivity out of your company, right? If you have a lemon and you squeeze it and all the juice is gone and that's it, no one's going to buy it. So you want to have something that has a perpetual way to get continual productivity, continual revenue all the time without regards for the people. And so these are your modern day assets that you need to have. These three things are what companies are going to be looking for. Media, what's your media influence and reach and visibility? What media do you have? Your IP. Do you have something unique that's to you, that's your intellectual property? We do everything with the iconic brands and the SOAR formula, and that is our own IP. And we have a number of different brands within that, right? And we have the agency, we have our directories, we have our GPS. These are all things that go under our intellectual property that nobody can have. And so it makes it a valuable acquisition target. And then software. What's the tech that you have? These three things are the things that are scalable. These are the things that can really grow your business, even if you don't have a huge team. So if you are a solopreneur, that could be a way that you could get acquired because you've got the magic three. But without that, then you have to scale with people, which can cost a lot more time, a lot more in resources. And people need a lot more attention and hand holding. Software doesn't care. They're okay if they work on a Saturday night, but your people, not so much. So understand those are the three keys. And software is a biggie. Why are people talking about it all the time? Because it sells for a 7 to 10 times multiple, right? You've heard the saying, I contain multiples. Okay, so if you have a software component that is part of your business, that can really, really, really increase your valuation. And you do have to be careful with this. It's been about a year and a half now that we started developing a piece of software because I didn't like all the things that were on the market. Now, I've done this before and built software for other companies. And this time I wanted to do something for our company. And I went out and looked and, worked with all these people. And, they're not usually here in Del Mar, California. You got to go abroad and find all these things. And Oh, I got totally ripped off. It was such a bummer. So be careful if you are trying to do your own software. Another gentleman I know, he was doing it and he wanted to do like a something with a calendar kind of option. And it was really awesome. Put a lot of time into it, a lot of money into it, and they delivered it. It was pretty good. He wanted a couple changes. And then they said, oh, yeah, if you want those changes or you actually want to keep the software, then they doubled the price. And he just thought, oh my God, how long are they going to blackmail me? So he just walked away. Okay. So software is a great thing, but be careful. Okay. We'll do some more shows on software and AI if you're into that, because I just find it fascinating, right? So every single one of my companies, I had amazing software in, and so it was really good. The other thing that you want to do if you want to be an acquisition target is start a portfolio. I want you to think of this like Lego blocks. All right. So, you know how with Legos, this is a huge thing. Adults are obsessed with Legos. Kids are obsessed with Legos, right? Why? Because you can take these little blocks and build something amazing. And you can do the exact same thing with your business. And you can have different parts of your business. I started off just with the Iconic Leadership Academy, and that was it for over a year. Why? Because I believe that you got to scale your business to 1 million before you start adding all these other things on. You have to have a real good proof of concept. When you get to $1 million in 9 months or 1.4 million in 9 months, then you know, okay, this thing is working. Okay, then you can bolt on other pieces. And so here's how this is. You want to look at this way. Okay, think about a venture model. You're trying to build a venture model. So you might want to add on different pieces. We have now an agency that we added into our business, right? We have a VA business that we added into our business. We have some software that we've added in. We have a design group. These are all like extra Lego pieces to make the whole building, right? So for you, you can think about if you can't build it, you could bring on partners, okay? Now, when I said be careful, look at 30 to 1, okay? Plan on looking at 30 to 1 different people and opportunities before you go with one. In real estate, when I always tell people when you're getting started in real estate, look at 100 houses, make 100 offers before you even touch one, okay? So look at a lot. And then you can do a couple of things. You can do a private equity approach, and you could acquire some of these 3 or 5 a year. Okay. You can also do an influence for equity. So you partner with someone because you're the face and they really need that to boost that. And you guys have equity, kind of an equity share in a business that way. Now, let's say if you do that 3 to 5 a year over a 10-year period, you've got an exit with 30 different parts to your company. That's huge. Now you're an amazing target. That's how people get these 10, 20, $100 million deals. And you just started with little old you, right? In the middle of the night. And then you can also look at as you're building this, so how am I going to do that? Well, there's something called a 2 and 20 ride along, which means it's a combination of cash and the upside. So you can find somebody who's a venture partner to help you build this out so you can ultimately sell it. And they give you, for example, in a 2 and 20 deal, what that means is that they would give you 2% of money and then they have maybe a 20% of the upside. So these are different ways that you can think about how can I expand this? But when you're thinking right now, oh my God, I just don't have enough time to do this. These partnerships, right? These Lego pieces that you can add on, okay, and build a portfolio of your business that way is so powerful, okay? In our company, we have a hybrid, a little bit that we built and a little bit that we added on. So here's the conclusion to it all, okay? Whether you're going to sell it or whether you're going to scale, these are the 4 areas that you want to look at. Now, again, make sure you type #workbook to get the workbook and a replay to get the replay if you missed any part of this. And so you've got to look at the functions of your business, okay? How that's something people are going to look at. Does this scale? We're going to look at markets, okay? So these are things that I look at when I'm looking to buy a business. What markets are you in? And how are they? Are they saturated? Are they growing? Are you, a one-off? Is it a dying market? Don't go into the newspaper industry. It's a dying market, right? And then territories. Where are you? And where can you be? So are you global? Are you local? Where is that? Okay. What's the political scene in those areas as well? That's important. And then product. The product mix is so important. Okay. Whether it's a physical product or a service, that is the product you're selling. So all of those are a perfect part, right? As we like to say, that is like it makes for the perfect square. It's the perfect cube, right? And this is our model, right? So that you have those four parts, right? But that gives you depth in your business plan. Okay. So what is it for you? Do you want to sell and build to sell, or do you want to build to scale? Either way, we are here for you. Book a call with us. Just type #call. And we can take a look at your model. We can take a look at your market and your functions and your team and all these things. And if you want a specific roadmap, how to double your profits in 5 minutes, I can do that in 5 minutes on the phone with you. And I'll show you exactly 2 things that you need to do. That's it. Just 2 things you need to do in order to double your profits. So just type #profits if you want that. And then if you do want the workbook, go ahead and type #workbook, and you can take the quiz in there, and then you will be ready to go. You'll know exactly what to do to build your business so you can sell it or scale it. Either way, you should make millions and millions off of your business. I'm Connie Scavella. I am signing out, and I want you to come back here next Tuesday, 5 p.m. Pacific, and we have something incredible in store for you. And by the way, it is Valentine's weekend coming up. And if you don't have your offer, I do want you to know that we have the ultimate 3-in-1 promotion kit. Go ahead and get that now, right? It's perennial. You can use it over and over and over and over and over. And you can just launch your product overnight. Everything is designed for you, all the custom pieces. I've got live training in there, workbooks, schedules. Everything is done. I include a call to help you out. These are all the things that you get. It doesn't matter if you have digital products. Doesn't matter if you have coaching or courses. If you have an e-commerce store, whether it's Amazon or Etsy or who knows where it is, right? So and we give you all the marketing to go with it. Most people don't know how to market or when to market. So I have all of that already designed. There's a whole promotion schedule, what you do on every single day, and you still have plenty of time. We're not even close, okay? And on top of that, you can do this every single year. You can even use that for different promotions if you want to. So I'll give you a free study guide in there. And this is the 10 love languages of a business. So that perfect for Valentine's Day. And guess what? It's nothing. It's only $47. Okay. So we talked the previous week, we did sections on branding yourself and branding your business. If you missed those, ask for those replays because this is all part of it, right? You've got to brand your business and become an iconic leader. So you can go to the iconicleader.com/VDay kit and you can get that. Everything is about the brand. Look at Alex Hormozy or Gary Vee. All they're talking about is brand, brand, brand. They're catching up to us because we've been talking about this for a while, for at least 4 years. Okay, that is what makes you millions. Just type #call if you do want a brand audit. You need any help with anything at all, and we will see you back here next Tuesday, 5 p.m. sharp. Bye, everybody.